Sentries are a device in Gimkit Creative that allow you to add a battle mechanic to your game or a fighting action mechanic to your game to engage students in more of an action sequence. There are lots of different options that I have when customizing my Sentry. I can change the type of gadget that Sentries use to attack. I can control how strong Sentries are or how hard they are to defeat. What they look like, they can be robots and they can be plants. And a new feature for Sentries is Sentry Team. So previously, it was pretty much just all players versus Sentries. Now you can set it up so that they're on Team Sentry, attacking everybody, or they can be specific to a team. So these Sentries are for Team 1, and the other Sentry is for Team 2. So when players go by those Sentries, they will recognize if a player is on their team or not. I can control if Sentries respawn after they're knocked out or if they're gone forever. If they do respawn, I can control how long it takes for them to respawn. And I can even give them a name that pops up when they knock out that Sentry. I can control how accurate they are, how fast they fire. I can control how much health they have, if they have shield, and adaptive health will allow me to customize so that their health changes depending on how many players are in the game. If they get knocked out, I can have it so that they drop an item, and I can transmit a signal on a channel. So that'll be important for things like updating a leaderboard or controlling other actions in the game. So I have this scenario set up where I have 3 Sentries on one team, 1 Sentry on another team, but this Sentry is more accurate and fires faster. And then Sentries can't by default be tracked, or Sentry knockouts can't be tracked on a leaderboard, but you can use a counter and a property to track Sentry knockouts on the leaderboard. So if I go into my map options, you'll see that when I go to score, I have a couple options: knockouts, amount of specific item, and property. Knockouts are player to player, and items are things that you collect throughout the game. So those won't really help us track how many Sentries we've knocked out, but properties we can use. And I just set up a property called Sentry Knockouts. And so to track that property, I set up this little property device. I named it Sentry Knockouts. So this is what the leaderboard is looking for. I made sure it was a number. And then this counter is unique because it has a property tab. And basically, I can say when the counter updates, it will also update this property. And I just kind of mapped it to that property that I created. So it goes from the Sentry gets knocked out, will update the counter will update the property, and the leaderboard will check this property to track the scores. All right, so let's try all this out. We're both on the same team here, so you're not going to see these Sentries fire at all because we're on their team. They're on our team. This Sentry, however, will get very angry, fire very fast, and is pretty accurate. So I'm going to go over here and give myself something to knock it out with. And you can see before I attack this Sentry, the leaderboard is 0. I have no score right now. I go over here and attack this guy, knock him out. You can see below it says knocked out, that name that I gave it. And then I go to the leaderboard and I have a point. So Sentries can be used for a lot of different things. They're not easy to track by default, but if you use a couple extra devices, you can set up games that track how many Sentries have been knocked out. You can give them specific names that could become part of your narrative for your game. All kinds of different ways that you can use Sentries to make your game fun and interesting.